Good morning, everyone. This is Carl F. Rose recording from Bedford, Pennsylvania on Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. And I know there's been other videos on it, on the Lions 53-man roster, but um, I'm going to go over this and tell you what surprised me and uh, and that sort of thing. Anyway, well, let's just get into it. Okay. Uh, yeah, the start says the Detroit Lions had several challenging decisions to make. Yeah, there was a lot of them. Um, okay. Um, okay. Let's see. Oh, the could still. Yeah, considering there was considering in the chances a player could still remain with the organization on the practice squad. And I think there's going to be quite a few. Um, uh, and it also said Detroit's roster is viewed in a much more favorable light. Um, so a player waived can be subject to being claimed by NFL. So they've released some people, but they also waived uh, some people. So anyway, let's just get into it. Uh, And then, oh, first of all, before we go, and here's what Dan Campbell said. He said, "It's really, it's really to me, uh, and I understand it is, it's, it's a 53-man roster, but really not." Campbell said, "It's a 60, it's a 60 man team. It's a 69 man team is what it is, and that's kind of how we view it. The guys are all on the same team. We all help each other out, and every one of these guys, there's a good chance they're going to play for us. Anyway, so let's just see what they've got cut down. Um, Quarterbacks. Uh, that was pretty uh, obvious. We got Jared Goff, uh, number one, and Teddy Bridgewater, two. Finally, this is probably the. I mean, we already knew this, but finally, because I don't even remember the last time the. Oh yeah, Stafford had a good backup for 1 year. Um, but outside of that, I don't remember. I mean, go back to the '70s when the Lions had Greg Landry and Bill Munson. Uh, um, those are the only times that I remember. Any other time, it was just their starting quarterback, and then if he was out, it was a dud. So that's was expected, but that's good news. Uh, Keeping three and what surprised me here is only three running backs, and then that they kept Jason Campbdll. So I think they're going to be flipping some things around here. Uh, but at the bottom, it'll say who's been waived and released, and we'll go over that. But yeah, that was a surprise to me, the running backs. Um, and again, well, JMO is listed as on suspension, so basically he would be the number six when he comes back. Um, so yeah, it's kind of surprising that they kept five, but so we got Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds, Amon St. Brown, Cully Freeman, Antoine Antoine Green. I am really glad that they kept. I like what I saw from Green, and I actually thought he was either gonna um, not make the cut or be on the practice squad. So to me, Antoine Green, I think I'm really pleased with that. Um, but I'm just surprised there wasn't Coda on there as well. But well, that's that. Anyway, the tight ends, that was pretty much set. Brock Wright, Sam Laporta, and James Mitchell. Um, and then the linemen, um, yeah, Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, uh, Vaitai, Penny Sewell, Graham Glasgow. Matt Nelson was a surprise, and Corey Sorsdahl. Um, those two with the rest of what the offensive line looked like. Yeah, they all the rest deserve. My biggest worry is if Frank Ragnow uh, sustains a lengthy injury, and the same thing with Vaitai. Um, if those two go down, then you're looking at Nelson and Sorsdahl. Um, that could be a disaster for the Lions. So I'm sure the Lions coaching staff is aware of that. Um, but I'm going to do a separate video on Frank Ragnow eventually, but we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But the health of the offensive line is really critical to how well the Lions will be doing. And then the defensive linemen, um, Ali McNeil, Levi, Isaiah Buggs, Broderick Martin. Benito Jones is kind of a surprise to me, but that looks like it's going to work out. And then the edge rushers, Aiden Hutchinson, Charles Harris, Romeo Okora, John Kaminsky. I'm glad they kept. Some people were surprised about Julian Okora. I'm glad they kept it. Well, yeah, Charles Harris, yeah, Josh Pascal, James Houston. Um, I figured he was going to be on there anyway. I um, I bet James Houston's going to be balling out. And then Julian Okora. Then the linebackers, um, Alexander Zaloni, Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, Derek Barnes, Jalen Reeves Maben, and Anthony Pittman. Um, that's pretty much, I'm not sure where I'm at on Pittman, but that's what they got. Cornerbacks was a little bit, uh, yeah, cornerbacks, there was a surprise here. Cameron Sutton, Jerry Jacobs, Emmanuel Mosley, Will Harris. I thought for sure he was going to be cut. And then Stephen Gilmore, he looked like, and Khalil Dorsey. He was the one that injured the tight end. Uh, so I'm surprised. I'm surprised he even made the cut. Uh, um, so maybe the Lions see something uh, in him, but yeah, Will Harris and Dorsey, those were the two surprises there. And safeties, C.J. Gardner Johnson, Tracy Walker, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch. Brian Branch is just, yeah, he's gonna make an impact right off the bat. And Iffy, I'll just call him Iffy. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much. Then the specialists, James Fox, Scott Daly, and Riley Patterson. Um, that was pretty much, a no-brainer. Um, okay, the reserves, yeah. Here we go. Quarterback Hendon Hooker, reserve. Okay, so and Dan Campbell said he would announce when he becomes active, and that'll be nice. And then we got Jamison Williams, reserve, suspended. Then I wouldn't be surprised if they put Nate Sudfeld on the IR. They have reserved, but I bet he's going to be out for the season, Sudfeld. So, okay, now the released. Let's see. Here comes some of the surprises. Let's see. Got Covington, Effetti, offensive lineman. Um, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Running back Snell. I thought for sure that Snell was gonna at least be on the practice squad or something. And I guess there's going to be a chance. But Craig Reynolds, uh, I know he's not the best, but um, they just seem to be light on the wide receiver and light on the running back. Um, uh, yeah, that those were the surprises, the two running backs. Let me see. Go back to the running back here again. All right, let's see. Yeah, running backs: Montgomery, Gibbs, and Campbdll. Yeah. Um, okay. And now let's look at waived. Okay, Trinity Benson, Davis, a lot of the, and um, yeah, let's see. Drummond, okay, yeah, waived. Um, Drummond, he might come back on the practice squad, I guess. Um, Martinez, yeah. Okay, and Chase Lucas, I was surprised on that. He made he made some pretty good plays. Um, and then Romo, yeah, and Starling Thomas. Um, I thought I was surprised on Starling Thomas. I really liked him, so they waived him. Um, and I thought Maurice Alexander was injured, but they got rid of him. Um, let's see, uh, Jamar Jefferson, I think he's injured too. They waived him, um, but really um, the three here we got Drummond, we've got Lucas, and we got Chase Cota that were surprises, but I think that those three might come back on the um, practice squad. Uh, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Um, but that's really about it. Uh, Not a whole lot of surprises. The biggest surprise for me is that they seem to be weak on wide receiver and weak on running back. And what it appears to me is that they're gonna make some moves, and but it appears that they put more emphasis on the defense, which makes sense after last year. So what I'm what I'm getting at is what I'm looking at is um, they're going to have a pretty solid defense. Um, and as far as their offense goes, their offense is going to be good. Um, but it's just going to be a question of how good. Um, but I don't see them having any real gaps in their defense where and that's always been a problem for the Lions, giving up yards and the middle of the field, the slot um, plays. They're just so I think their defense is really set good, and with the depth, um, especially on the defensive line side. So, but the biggest concern is the offensive line, and that they're short on running backs and they're short on wide receivers. So um, that's really my biggest concern. So anyway, well, that's about it. Um, I just wanted to put in my 2 cents worth, and we will talk to you later. Have a good day.